Wildwood Avenue is the kind of street where nothing happens. Ranch houses, trimmed lawns, neighbors who've lived here for 25 years and still wave from their porches. A street where a man could jog past your window every morning for decades, and you'd set your clock by it. At 5:28 a.m. that changed. A call comes in, a person down. Officers arrive expecting the worst kind of ordinary emergency, and they find a 31-year veteran of the Worcester Police Department dead inside his own home. The man who answered calls like this one, for 31 years, was now the reason for the call. And within hours, police weren't just investigating a death. They were searching wooded hills, dragging a pond, flying a drone over a house, hunting for a woman they described as armed and dangerous. His wife, a woman who had spent years of her life trying to save police officers from the darkest moments of their own minds. This is the story of what happened on Wildwood Avenue, and what still, days later, no one outside that house can explain. Worcester, Massachusetts, Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. Second largest city in New England, a place that prides itself on its blue-collar backbone and its tight-knit neighborhoods, and Wildwood Avenue sits in one of the quietest of them. At 5:28 in the morning, Worcester police receive a call. Not a report of a crime, a medical call, a person down inside a home. Patrol officers arrive within minutes. What they find inside changes the nature of the call entirely. A man, unresponsive, suffering from serious injuries. Police pronounce him dead at the scene. He is identified as 57-year-old Kurt Solomon, a patrolman with the Worcester Police Department for 31 years, a man close to retirement, a man his own union president would later describe simply as beloved. Longtime resident James Santom lived a few houses down from the Solomons since 1980. He told reporters he saw Kurt jogging past his home as recently as a few weeks earlier. He called him an awesome guy, the most awesome person you ever want to meet. But Kurt Solomon did not die alone in that house. Investigators quickly determined that another person had been inside, his wife, a woman named Karen Solomon, and by the time officers finished processing the scene, she is nowhere to be found. To understand why this case pulled in local, state, and federal law enforcement within hours, you have to understand who Karen Solomon is. She is not a stranger to the world of policing. She is in many ways one of its most visible advocates. Karen Solomon is the founder and president of an organization called First H.E.L.P, a nonprofit built around a single, difficult mission: reducing the stigma around mental health inside law enforcement, and tracking officer suicides across the country. It's the kind of work that exists because too many departments don't talk about what the job does to the people inside it. In 2016, a local news station interviewed her about an app she was developing, a tool meant to help police officers reach support during moments of crisis. For years, Karen Solomon was the person policing turned to when an officer was struggling. Now she was the person police were searching a pond for. Worcester Police Chief Paul Saucier addressed reporters directly. His words were careful, but unambiguous. He said Karen Solomon is presumed to be armed and dangerous. Worcester County District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. went further, describing what happened inside that home as a domestic violence incident, though he stopped short of detailing what investigators believe actually took place. Early told reporters plainly, they want her for questioning. He noted there were other people in the house that morning as well, but as of that briefing, locating Karen Solomon was the department's singular focus. It's worth pausing here on a word investigators have been careful with: suspect. Karen Solomon has not been charged with a crime. She has not been arrested. Under the language Worcester officials have used, repeatedly, deliberately, she is a person police need to find and question. Nothing more has been confirmed, nothing less either. By Tuesday afternoon, Wildwood Avenue looked less like a residential street and more like a staging ground. State police moved through the wooded hills behind the neighborhood with canine units. Divers enter Coe's Pond, officially Coe's Reservoir, a body of water sitting less than a mile from the Solomon home. A drone circles overhead, its cameras sweeping the property and the surrounding blocks. Law enforcement analyst Todd McGee explained to CBS Boston just how significant this mobilization was. He noted the search extended across local, state, and federal resources, including, he confirmed, the State Police Air Wing, equipped with infrared technology capable of detecting heat signatures through dense wooded terrain. Combined with canine scent tracking, He called it a substantial and coordinated deployment. This was not a routine search. This was what happens when a police department believes one of its own communities may be sheltering, knowingly or not, a woman they consider dangerous. By Wednesday, Ring camera footage surfaces. It shows Karen Solomon walking near the Westside Animal Clinic, close to her home, not long after the 911 call that morning. She's described as having dark brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing pajama shorts and a tank top, walking in the direction of Westcott Street. Worcester Police released the footage publicly, along with a photograph, urging anyone who spots her to call 911 immediately, or the department's non-emergency line directly. The search stretches into a second day. Then updated video surfaces again. New footage, a new photo, still no confirmed sighting leading to her location. A Worcester police spokesperson tells reporters simply, she is still believed to be armed. The case, they say, remains a very active investigation. For the people who live on and around Wildwood Avenue, this isn't a headline. It's their street. Karen Avidian, who has lived in the neighborhood for 25 years and told reporters she was personally interviewed by police, said the quiet street had been turned upside down. She went to high school with Kurt Solomon's brother. She described the Solomons, in her words, as a great family. If you're watching till now, please like and subscribe. Dan McInnes, who lives down the street, told reporters he grew up alongside Kurt and his older brother, playing wiffle ball, riding bikes, the ordinary texture of a childhood spent on one street. Two accounts, two neighbors, the same refrain, again and again, this doesn't happen here. James Santom put it most directly. Crimes like this, he said, are not of this neighborhood. We've never had anything like this. That settles over a place like this. Not just grief, confusion. The gap between the man they knew, jogging past their windows for decades, and the scene now unfolding with drones, divers, and search dogs sweeping through the trees behind their homes. Records show Kurt and Karen Solomon were listed as co-owners of the Wildwood Avenue property. A 2016 bankruptcy filing lists Karen as his wife, one of the few pieces of documentation publicly confirming the relationship, since officials have declined to elaborate, citing Massachusetts domestic violence statutes that restrict what can be disclosed in these cases. A Worcester city councilor also referred to Karen publicly as Kurt's wife. Kurt Solomon's union president added one more detail, one that in hindsight sits heavier than most. Kurt was close to retirement. 31 years on the job, the finish line was in sight. Here is where an honest account of this case has to slow down. Investigators have not released a cause of death. We do not know exactly what happened inside that house in the hours or minutes before 5:28 a.m. We do not know what relationship, if any, the other people District Attorney Early referenced had to what occurred that morning, or why they haven't been named publicly. We do not know where Karen Solomon is right now, or whether the woman in the Ring footage, walking calmly past an animal clinic in pajama shorts, has any connection to what investigators believe took place inside that home. What we do know is narrower, and it matters that we say it precisely. A veteran police officer is dead. His wife was in the home. Investigators have called it a domestic violence incident. She has been described by the district attorney himself as a suspect, and she is, as of this reporting, still being sought for questioning, not custody following an arrest. Massachusetts law restricts what officials can disclose in domestic violence investigations, which is in part why so much of this story exists in outline rather than detail. It's a legal framework designed to protect victims and the integrity of an active case. It also means that a story this public is paradoxically still mostly unknown. There is a temptation in cases like this to fill in the blanks, to build a narrative where the gaps are, because gaps are uncomfortable and stories crave shape. This isn't going to do that. If there's one detail from this case that keeps surfacing, in every article, every broadcast, every conversation about it, it's this. The woman police are searching for built her career around keeping police officers alive. First H.E.L.P. doesn't just talk about officer mental health in the abstract. It tracks law enforcement suicides nationally. A number of departments have historically underreported, or not reported at all. It exists because the profession that trains people to run toward danger rarely trains them for what happens when the danger follows them home. Karen Solomon spent years working that exact intersection. The place where the badge comes off at the end of a shift. and the person underneath it is left to carry what the job put there. None of that explains what happened on Wildwood Avenue. It doesn't confirm anything, and it doesn't excuse anything. If there is anything to excuse, investigators haven't said. But it's the detail that makes this case different from a routine domestic violence investigation covered by 6 news vans and a police scanner. It's the detail that made this a national story within 48 hours instead of a regional one. A woman who spent a career trying to prevent officers from dying by violence, sought now in connection with the violent death of the officer she was married to. As of this recording, Karen Solomon has not been located. The search that began within hours of Kurt Solomon's death, divers in Coe's Pond, K9 units in the wooded hills, an air-wing helicopter with infrared cameras, agencies at the local, state, and federal level, continues. Worcester Police have released 2 rounds of surveillance footage to the public, and continue to ask residents to report any sighting immediately, rather than approach her directly, given the department's continued belief that she is armed. The Worcester County District Attorney's Office has not announced charges. It has not released a cause of death for Kurt Solomon. It has not detailed what exactly investigators believe transpired inside that home in the early hours of August 18th. What's left is a street that used to be defined by its quiet, now defined by something else entirely. A community grappling with the space between the neighbor they knew and the story now being told about his home. A police department searching for one of its own community's most recognizable mental health advocates. And a family, 2 adult sons among them, waiting, like everyone else, for answers that haven't come yet. This case is still active, this case is still unfolding, and anything reported after this recording may already have changed what's known. We'll be following this story as it develops. Subscribe to Behind the Case File for more true crime investigations covered with accuracy and respect.